Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. It is Angel here, back at Wrestle Relaunch, accompanied by Nikki, Paul, and Keith here, back for another week of professional wrestling. But they don't know the format because maybe, what if I lied to these people? What if I told them to watch matches that they may never have seen or they may already have seen? And what if I changed it up live here on the channel? We just talked about a certain match that we take it back in time. Why don't we take them back in time, right, Mr. Time Machine Noise?
Oh, no.
Ba-da-da-da-doo, ba-da-da-da-doo, ba-da-da-da-doo.
So for this back in time special here, we're back in 1987 or 97. I don't remember. I lost track of the
Ah,
years. My brain
Jesus.
There's a
got
big
fried
difference
hitting
in the
that
wrestling
portal,
world.
Yeah.
and yeah, huge difference. And we're gonna do something different here. We're gonna kick it off with a review that we all gave them homework to do, me and Villain, because Villain selected this match. He chose to watch the 1994 match between Owen Hart and Bret Hart in a steel cage. I remember those days fondly,
Yeah,
Not just
very
a steel
I'm
fondly.
sure you
cage.
don't.
Not just a steel cage. The blue bar steel cage.
Hell yeah.
And not only just the blue bar steel cage, the blue bar steel cage that was the same height as the wrestlers.
I'm sure that was a little heavier than the other stuff.
Oh, I believe it. That every time the smacks that Bret would take or Owen would take and the bang it would make was super duper insanely louder than the cages we have now. They just sound steel as fuck. Versus today where they're made out of like that really thin steel. Like the posts are thick, but the steel is thin, so it's not as hard on the body
Yeah, it lets you
as
get
those
slammed
cages.
into a whole bunch more without getting hurt.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't want to kill anybody in here.
Oh well, we'll find out. We'll figure that out, Paul, in our steel cage match.
We'll get there.
It was
But
also probably one of the last times that a Canadian used a Russian leg sweep.
Well played.
Mm.
absolutely. So, how do you guys want to start this one off? Who wants to kick it off? I have a lot of notes. This is the most notes I've ever written in my life for a match. For no
Well,
reason.
I mean, we could start by saying it was held in the United Center in Chicago.
And if I remember correctly, it was freshly built United Center, right?
It was the first event in the United Center.
Like
Yep.
Mussolini. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Right.
whoa. We didn't go back in future yet. Hold on.
No, you said Chicago, so I had to do it.
Well, and we're also talking about WrestleMania 10, where Owen had actually had a win over Bret.
Well, this was just
Yep.
so well done, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how did I mean? I'm assuming we all saw this in real time. Um,
Everybody but Sponge,
was it?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
right.
I was there. I was there front row live actually, sitting next
Yeah,
to Bruce Bulldog and
sure.
the Hart
Oh, okay.
family and everyone. I was right there next to them. It was insane. I got Polaroids with them and shit.
You were a sparkle in your daddy's eye.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was developing. Sponge was representing Grayson Waller and Austin Theory all those years ago because he was coming from down under if he was in that crowd.
oh,
Oh
Jesus.
wow, wow.
Uh,
No, how did you seriously though? How did you guys feel about the whole Bret and Owen split? I mean, the Survivor Series mishap, which that was like a boring ass Survivor Series match anyway, and
well,
then Bret getting flown off. Like, do you remember how devastating that was to see that footage all the time of Bret taking that bump from the ropes, get knocked off the ropes onto the bicycle railing around the ring? Like how brutal that
Jesus.
oh
was.
yeah.
You know what? I enjoyed it because, like, if you ever had a sibling, I like the most story was Owen was just wanting what Brett had or wanted to be over Brett. It's like if you ever had a sibling, if any of you guys have siblings
Well, that's one
and your
side
Yeah.
of the story.
parents like what's it called? Favor your sibling and you know your sibling is doing
Favoritism, yeah.
better than you. Yeah. So I feel like this story can connect with a lot of people and I love the way they did it because Owen was basically the jealous sibling who is proving his way to the top. You know, he won the King of the Ring prior
Hmm.
to because the year previous Brett won the King of the Ring, and he's trying to carry himself to prove himself that he is worthy of getting another title opportunity because he was also mad at the fact that not only did he beat him at WrestleMania 10, Bret Hart went on to win the world title later that night.
Yep.
Yeah, I never understood that. It's like if you see, like, that's one side of the story is jealousy, of the older brother, but it's like he was better. Like overall, technically, Bret has the advantage. Uh, Striking, grappling, running the ropes. Owen was better than Bret. Like Bret was
Hmm.
a bit stiffer on the mic. Like Owen was more free flowing on the mic when you actually let him talk. Like he was a heel that you actually appreciated.
Well, to echo that, just from like a TV perspective, right? We're now in what we're going on year 4 of the whole bloodline thing,
Yeah.
which is great. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
complaining about it. But this whole Bret and Owen thing started in '93 at Survivor Series, and here we are. Um, uh, the steel cage match at SummerSlam in '94.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost at a full year by the time we get to the Survivor Series later in '94, and it's an entire year of here's the disdain. I'm living in my brother's shadow. We're gonna get back together and beat the Quebecers. Um, and yeah, it like that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg. So awesome. That Royal Rumble was just, and that's also the same year that the both Brett and Lex, right? Was that '94 when they both
No, that was
went out of the ring?
no, that was '93 because it was WrestleMania 9.
That's right. That's right. Well, either way, um, yeah, man, just like such an incredible story, and I think that's the one thing, and I want to go ahead and get it out of the way now. Why I don't like AEW is that this is some serious storytelling that you can actually get invested in and follow. The only logical story right now on AEW is what's her name, Tony Storm saying "tits out."
Yeah,
That's it. That's the only thing that's consistent is Tony
He's still
Storm.
doing that. It's been
yeah.
like a year.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
Well,
dude.
she's back to being timeless Tony Storm again.
And I
Like,
thought she retired or
no,
whatever.
No, she was acting. Thank you.
yeah,
Love it.
Yeah.
Anybody?
no, I fucking love that. She was funny.
Hmm.
Okay, so
I just gotta say, right
let's
before we start, I just gotta say, that's right. I made Brett tap out. I threw in the towel. He gave up. Woo! I love Owen Hart. Like he's just so good.
He's awesome.
uh,
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I always liked that old blue cage. That was
Same.
cool. Um, I also forgot about Bulldog with the long hair, looking like he just came out from a White Snake video.
yes.
A White Snake video that was shot in the Caribbean.
Hmm.
This segment on Whitesnake was brought to you in part by David Coverdale. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh-huh. Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Yes, there you go.
That was my best Alfred Hayes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Promotional consideration. I can't do it. Anyway,
Well, at least it
so
wasn't Michael Hayes.
promotional consider do do do.
God
If it don't snow, we can't go.
So perfect.
Hey. Have you guys seen since I don't know have you guys ever seen his music video where he's pouring out Jack Daniels on one of the Freebirds' graves?
Yeah.
I have not seen that. I'm gonna have to look that up later. Somebody remind me.
Freebird Road, I think, is the name
Yep.
of the music video. And it's not Tommy Young, is it? He's whose grave is he over?
It was probably Bam Bam's.
Okay.
You guys are talking about all the Freebirds and stuff. I still can't get over Stand Back. Like this shit was so good. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my lord.
I preferred Bad Street USA to the other one, but
Yes.
whatever.
But how are we?
Bad Street, Atlanta, GA.
Yes. Nobody's talking about with my baby tonight. Like, come on, man.
Hey, the one time I had, so you guys are familiar with ad-free shows, right? It
No.
was like Conrad Thompson, all those people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Jesus, not
so
Conrad.
I got, I did Bischoff's Strictly Business thing, and Dave Silva. No, it was somebody else. The guy who does Click This, the Kevin Nash show.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
guy
yeah,
that
yeah.
produces that show. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're doing this thing with Jim Johnston, and he's having trouble getting his interface to talk to Zoom or whatever we're using. Could you jump in like in 10 minutes and try to help us figure this out?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, it'd be so cool, like to meet Jim fucking Johnston."
Yep.
So I go on there and we hit it off. He had, I think he had an Apollo interface that wasn't working, and they were just like, "Fuck it, we'll just do it from this," and we'll, yeah, thanks. And we ended up exchanging emails, and we ended up doing like a one-on-one Zoom, which we kept reinitiating because neither of us had Zoom Premium, so we could only talk for like 40 minutes or 20 minutes at a time. And he was like, "Hey, do you know any country singers in Nashville?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know a few of them." He's like, "Well, I still own the rights to With My Baby Tonight because I wrote that originally for my wife." And he was like, "I kind of want to get somebody to like redo it." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if anybody's going to want to do that." Like, it's a cool song, and it starts with like the Beatles hit. Like, I think that's actually really cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, kind of a nod if you don't know, if you're like, if you don't know it's there, you won't recognize it, but it is the Beatles hit. And yeah, I don't know. Sweet fucking dude though. Like, quite honestly, one of the gnarliest human beings on the planet.
Nice.
Anyway,
You should
Bret
have
Hart.
been like, you should have been like, come produce the music back to the, the place that needs it.
He
But
he he didn't want to.
oh hell no,
I
I would have.
literally asked him that question. He was like, "I left because they were asking me for stuff 30 minutes before air, and I couldn't handle it anymore." And
You know what? That
yeah,
makes sense. Everything, all the new theme songs sound like they were fucking made 2 minutes before they went live.
Well, welcome to Wrestle
Like,
Relaunch, where Sponge wants you to do everything like 5 minutes before we go live.
oh, and you better,
See?
or
Or or sometimes
$100,000.
or sometimes he's doing it while we're talking.
yeah. I've been killing time, everybody. Angel, what are we doing?
For everybody who can't see me through my microphone right now, I blinked twice. If you know, you know.
Beaver nuggets.
Taking it back to Bret and Owen. Where did we leave off?
94, SummerSlam, Steel
Ah,
Cage.
the story, the matchup. The matchup, you know what? To get into the matchup, I enjoyed the fuck out of it with Owen rushing on Bret and taking him down and having the offense.
Oh, yeah.
Then my favorite, like him going off on Bret and Bret taking it back by going, not fucking Bret Owen taking his eyes out and Bret coming out with the headbutt. But they
Yeah.
were just going at it. They were coming up with so much shit that you've never seen. Like even when it came to the fake attempts to get out of the cage, every single spot was different, and there was so many of them. This match went for 38 minutes or so, and there was just so many exit spots that were different and executed really goodly and more repetitive and more annoying. And since there was no, weapons or nothing, they can't rely on that for like pops. They were just relying on the exit spots for pops. Like even through exiting out the door, when someone's crawling out the door and then Owen grabs Bret's leg or Bret grabs Owen's leg right as they're about to win the match.
Yeah. How cool is that though? Like, there's no escaping the cage over the top anymore. That's not a thing because they have the truss like
You know
holding the
what?
cage up.
Yeah.
What the this match's rules were only over the cage or walking out. There was no pins or submissions too, which I really liked in this match.
Yeah, because that's how
That's
Which
the
is
that's
way
how
the
they
way
cage
used to be.
matches
Yeah,
that's
should
the way
fucking be.
that's how they
that's
used to
how a
be.
cage match should be. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should now with with punks and sets, it was a pinfall or submission or exit the cage, and that's usually how it is for every single steel cage match. I've seen so many in the most recent time, and they're just like that, and they always end up winning in a submission or pinfall.
Well,
I've never seen anyone win with like a climb out.
go back to those spots in that Punk Rollins match. With the false finishes, the GTS stomp combo from Rollins. Like that's where the money is. Like the false finish is just commonplace now. But if you use it properly, like everybody said, fucking Cornette said it. He goes, no, 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 no. When he hit the GTS and then stomped him and then went right into the cover, didn't delay it at all. He's like, you knew this was over, and he fucking kicked out. Like that shit was crazy. Everybody went nuts. Like if Cornette is real just over the moon about it, it goes to show you why Bret and Owen got over without weapons, without furniture, just false finish spots. Like
Well, it was
sometimes it
over
just has to
because
be simple.
everybody well, that, and you're not wrong, but it also makes total sense when everybody knows Brett's a badass.
Yeah.
Like literally, duh. And then you have his little brother, a shoot little brother,
Mm-hmm.
and he has verbally made his point that he's lived in his older brother's shadow. Who cannot relate to that, even if it's not sibling based?
Yeah.
Who cannot? You're on a job, somebody's always outperforming you. You always get compared to them, and you just like fuck. I've had it. If this motherfucker, sorry, I'm swearing so much. If this
No,
person wasn't
you're good to
here,
swear. The time's over.
if this person wasn't here, I would probably getting the promotion. I'd be getting this. I'd be getting that. It's the same thing with Austin and McMahon. It's the same thing with Punk and Rollins, where Rollins is like, you swore this place down, you wanted to destroy it, and now you're here and you just want to make money. You're so fake. All that stuff makes sense. It's a logical story. And the fact that they put so much urgency at the top of this match, there was so much desperation in the both of them to one, Brett to shut his little brother up, and Owen to prove himself to the world and his family and his cousins and everybody outside of the ring. Um, yeah, man,
That's
just so
that's the
yeah.
one thing I could never understand about '94's booking. And it's like you went into WrestleMania 10, and you had Owen versus Brett. Like you had just classic textbook technical wrestling, and it was great for as long as it went on. And Owen went out on top. You're like, okay, even Michael Cole can tell you now, even Excalibur can tell you nowadays
Ugh.
that if you beat the number one contender, it probably pushes you into that number one contender spot. And then, about an hour later, Brett walked out with the
Eliminator
world title.
tournament.
Yeah. Like Brett walks out with the world title an hour later, and you're just like,
Okay.
what are they gonna do with Owen now? And then Owen falls back into like the mid card story, the tag title story, just riffing on Brett, not
Nation
actually
of
getting a shot at
domination.
Brett. Like it's so silly.
I mean, look, there was a time and a place for that, and they killed it. I part of me, and I know people have said this before, like I would love to see Owen and what he would be doing right now.
Yeah.
Could you even imagine?
Yeah.
Like he would be a way better GM of NXT. Just saying.
There, that bar's not set very high.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, God, there's something I want to say, but
Uh,
I'm not going to say it.
I'm going to once again alienate my Canadian fans by letting you all know that I was never a fan of Brett. Um, but I mean, for that time frame after Hogan and the steroid trial, and they went a little smaller,
Mm-hmm.
Brett looked the part.
Yep.
He was the champion, and his work was tight, but so was Owens. And I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? They've known each other since they were born. Each one, the other one was born. I mean, it had to be like almost just like a night off for them to go in there and do 30. It was 32 minutes and 22 seconds, and that's you'd think, okay, that's a good pay-per-view match. But in doing my research, uh, they Bruce Pritchard, take it with a grain of salt, said that the match was too long.
Ugh.
And to give you an example of what happened before that match, you got Double J versus Mabel,
Yes.
with, with Double J winning in 5 minutes on a pay per view.
See, look at that. He was sitting back with his Mabel tonight.
Oh my god.
30
So I don't know how 30 minutes is too long, but whatever.
minutes for Bret and Owen. I'm
Yeah, you need that.
surprised. I'm surprised that they didn't break out the Iron Man match before Bret and Shawn, because like you gave Bret and Owen like at least 30 minutes at WrestleMania 10, and then you gave him almost 40 in the cage at SummerSlam. It's like, how did you not pull out the Iron Man match, the 1 hour between Bret and Owen? Everybody would have watched that.
Hmm. And the other thing that was funny on my research is our buddy Uncle Dave actually gave this match 5 stars.
Aww. Well, I
Oh,
mean,
that's fun.
you have to remember, Dave actually legitimately gave out 5 stars sometimes because
Then
AEW wasn't around back then for him to leech off
yeah,
of.
and he was being original back then in
Yeah,
1919 and during Paul's childhood.
Hmm.
he was still, the wrestling savant of Kevin Dunn. Like, not great. Uh, but I mean, he wasn't as biased as he was back as he was now. Like,
No, no, absolutely not. But the one thing that I would have done differently is I would have had Owen win, and then you could go to an Iron Man because Brett's now chasing the little brother, trying to get his belt back.
so now
Yeah, I like.
if you fantasy book this right, all the way back from '94, and we're gonna get to the match because the match itself was just absolutely great. But
We'll get there.
after you had Owen, you see, look, let's see, Paul's learning. Like Paul's catching up real quick. Now, you had Owen beat you had Owen beat Bret at WrestleMania in '94. Okay, fine. And then they go on, and they have the steel cage match for the world title. And if Owen goes over, do you have them repeat at WrestleMania 11, knowing who the both of them wound up fighting at WrestleMania 11?
Uh,
See,
eh,
I, you,
and this is
eh.
what
you could
Vince
have
and
you
this
could
is
have
what Vince was thinking back then. He was sitting back in his chair like, eh.
but you
I
could
don't
have
see it.
you
That's why we
didn't
didn't get it.
but you don't have to wait till WrestleMania. That could have been something good for Royal Rumble,
Yeah, but I mean,
since the
like,
champion usually has the night off.
it got weird then because like you had Sean won the Rumble and didn't even wind up fighting Bret in '95 because Bret had already lost it.
I mean, I don't know if I have any knowledge, skills, or abilities to comment on the match, like how it was conducted or anything. It was fun from start to finish, and the finish of the match was great. Like Owen getting stuck. It basically was just like, while you may be able to match the other as far as grit and strength and skill, there's just a little bit of seniority that makes Bret the better wrestler, right? Or at
Yeah,
least in this instance, the better brawler. Like
yeah.
just a hair more, just a little bit, a couple of years, knowing what to look for, and that experience. Beautiful, like absolutely masterfully done.
Well, yeah, it's like the old saying. I may have taught you everything you know. I didn't teach you everything I know.
And that's what Bret had pretty much over everybody back in that time was like he was great in the ring, he was great on the mic, but like he had that drive for the killer mentality at the end. Like he had that closer role. Like he knew how to finish the match off. He knew how to send the crowd off. Like this is why they ran with him because like he was just almost seamless to him.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, Well, the finish was funny to me, with Owen getting stuck and Bret just leaping off. After that, my favorite part of this whole thing was when Jim the Animal Neidhart gets mad, jumps out of his chair and clotheslines that girl and British Bulldog. Bro, with a British Bulldog, that clothesline fucking hilariously good.
Sponge is here for the Jerry Springer level drama.
Yup.
Oh, so you roll with Russo then, huh?
Oh no.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
You like that Crash TV stuff, don't
Crash TV. I'm
Bro.
Oh,
dying.
you?
alright, bro. Calm down, bro.
I can't even. I cannot stand that man.
Bro, I'm telling you, it was Brett's idea. He came up with it. He wrote it in his book. And bro, when I talked to him, when he came to WCW, bro, all I had to say was, "Look." Sorry, that was a really good Russo
It
clip right
was
there.
really good,
That
Russo.
was, yeah.
That was
I was holding in laughter the whole time just to let you finish.
you. You know what? Next, we're gonna have Vince Russo as a guest, and it's gonna
Oh,
be Nikki just talking as him, and it's gonna be perfect. They're gonna believe it.
Bro, I'm available at any time. I'm just up here in northern Colorado, just at my home. I don't even watch wrestling anymore, bro. All I do is I sit here and talk to the people that understand what a real promoter and a real booker does. Okay, bro?
Mr. Russo, I think on behalf of all of us, we'd like to offer you a contract.
You know what, Johnny? Here's what I have to say to you right now, okay? I heard about what you did in the closet, the little gadooky
Oh,
doo.
Shit.
What? I'm going to talk about it. I have no fucking filter, okay? Now I'm a Christian man now, okay, bro? No, okay, I'm done. I was really going to RP that with you, not even going to
You
oh,
know what? We got to do it one day. We just got to shoot the shit with Russo and fucking Laurinaitis.
I don't know if I want those
not to.
trolls coming after me. That's like tweeting at Ryback. You know what I
Yeah, but
mean?
like,
Like,
I mean, what's the worst that happens? Like, you know, there's no such thing as bad
he
press.
he blocked me for telling him to retire.
Yeah.
it's so
But
weird.
now that we finished up here with Brett and Owen, it's time. I think it's time to go to the future. Ain't that right, time machine? And as we're in the
Party
future,
on, Wayne.
and as we're in the future, this is Nikki's personal favorite match. In
Ugh.
September of six, or hold on, did I get the right? Did I get September something of
September of 6?
2021?
September of '06. What a great year.
September September 5th, 2021. A week after before, 3 weeks before, CM Punk came back to wrestling after he told Nikki he would never come back. 7 years
He didn't tell me
prior.
that personally, but
No, he did. He sent him in the mail. He sent him a whole letter, and we saw it. And
did
then
you
he
did you
broke.
pick did you pick this match because
No,
they were
villain.
both in Chicago?
He picked this match because he loves CM Punk and he loves Darby Allin.
Oh my gosh.
Darby,
Okay.
hey, Darby's from my city. I'm from the
That's
same
why.
place he's from, and I'm also from. But no, I chose this match. Um, we never talked about an AEW match, and I also want to open up like a semi, good pay per view before it went downhill, and now everything's booty and everything has a chair and a ladder and exploding and fire and people dying and people fucking doing crazy ass
Nails.
shit.
Nails.
Yep,
No, nails.
nails before the nails. I was like, I think this one would be fun. Punk's first match back in 7 years since WWE and his whole, hiatus of wrestling, versus someone who he's never ever wrestled, Darby Allin, and we may be familiar with his work, his stupid work, and his good work. If you, to be fair, before we even get there, Darby Allin now, I hate him. Darby Allin, if he could get produced and he could do this shit like he did on that match, he's really good. If he uses his abilities, really good. But he never will because he's gonna climb the mountain and probably die and will
Well,
never see it
remember,
again.
if you ask Stephanie
oh
McMahon,
god.
she liked this match at All Out because it went longer than a minute and 26 seconds.
There
Oh
you
wow.
go. But
We all
Um,
remember that promo. We all remember that promo she cut.
but so
jury duty.
I wanted to get your guys' view on this match on what you guys thought, and also I know the quality was a little ass and it froze like once.
Okay, so I'll be the first to just come out and say it. I remember the first dance, right? The Rampage
Mhm.
where Punk showed up. I had, as Ric Flair would say, tears in my eyes. I wasn't crying. I was just like, holy shit. Like, we're coming out of the pandemic. CM Punk is fucking back. Like, WWE is pretty fun right now. Like, I don't know what this. I think this was like Sammy Uso era as well, right? Like, if maybe I'm wrong, but either way, um, Jericho. I'm enjoying the Jericho of it all in AEW. It's kind of whatever, but it's something. Um, I when he being Punk called out Darby Allen and said something to the effect of like, "If I were 15, you would be my favorite wrestler too."
Oh.
I thought to myself, "Self, please tell me that after 7 years of being away, it's not going to be Darby fucking Allen as his first match back." What, like, wrestle Sting? That's a way cooler match to have.
That's a
Like,
lot of
who,
what everybody
like,
wanted, yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's like, what about Powerhouse Hobbs? Why not build a story of like, hey, I know I've been gone for a while, just like I did in the UFC. I'm here to get my ass kicked and make some money. Like, call a spade a spade. Like, be real about it? But you're gonna go after Darby Allen as like
It was
a
in,
gentleman's wager.
it
Like,
was
I was
it was
I was wondering what the setup was for this because I could not bring myself to watch AEW period. But this was my first foray.
well, welcome to the doghouse because I I could not, man. I had to say uncle like, I don't know, 10 minutes in. It was just like, okay, how many times are we going to and like for me it has to be like, and I remember that, and I never paid a single price for an AEW pay-per-view because they were going to talk all about it and show footage the following Wednesday, whatever.
and also they're
There
like
hasn't.
$70 a pop, and that's
But
insane.
yeah, it's like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, your stuff is not that compelling. For no, I take it back. I did watch the first pay per view because I wanted to see Cody and Dustin wrestle, and that was hella worth it.
Yeah.
That whole pay per view was worth that match.
Mm-hmm.
That is the greatest wrestling match that AEW has ever done. Period. That's the only match that matters because it actually meant something. This match meant nothing. There was no there was no prize. Neither of those guys needed an ego check. Neither of those guys were inching their way into a title picture. Neither of those guys had anything to win or lose.
The match was just a showcase, though. Homeboy's been gone, and the last time we saw him in anything, he got his ass kicked twice.
Yeah, but like, respect and proving yourself. Yeah, let me pick a guy that's like half my size and that likes to do a lot of crazy bumps so I can look good. Like, I'm not throwing any shade on Punk,
Oh yeah,
but it's like, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, cool. A showcase match, that's great. Showcase yourself fighting from underneath. Like, and again, I'm not a wrestler. I don't want any wrestler that might listen to this to think that I'm being critical of wrestlers. I do not understand how you guys do it. I respect the art form. But as a fan that would like to pay you money to enjoy this thing that we all get off on, which is professional wrestling, and no, I don't mean that sexually, but I would
whoa.
like there to be
No,
some
you have to
sort of
make the
like,
distinction because somebody's going to take it the wrong way. He did it right.
yeah,
Yep, yep.
look, if this is getting marked down in some AI bot thing, first off, you don't have the right to use my voice. I'm going to say that right now. I think everybody else should at some point. AI, you do not have the right to use my voice in the future.
Oh no, don't
Um,
worry. I own this recording, and I'm gonna sell it to a company to use
cool.
your
I'll
voice.
sue you. So, moving forward though,
Get sued.
this this did nothing for either of them. You know what I mean? Outside of
Oh
that,
yeah,
I love Punk. I love Darby equally, respectfully, separately. And I think there's a place for both of them. Obviously, there's a massive place for Punk. I think Darby would be a lot cooler if he weren't in AEW and were actually given, like, hey, you really want to be a pro wrestler? Okay, come here. Let me tell you something. Doing that is not going to make you an Eddie Guerrero. It's not going to make you as silly as this may sound, a Hurricane Helms or Spike Dudley. Like, whatever this thing is that you're doing, yes, it's beautiful, cool. You really need to tone it down. We're all kind of worried about you. Do you need to talk to somebody? I'm not throwing shade on Darby. It's just like, bro, this art form has been around for a long time because week after week, they don't give it all away. You don't sleep with the girl or guy on the first date. Give them something. This whole like shoving a spike, like Barney Rubble looking thing in Moxley's back this past
He got
Wednesday.
suplexed. He got
What are you guys
suplexed
gonna do
onto it, and it
next?
was sitting on
Shoot
a
each
floor.
other into the right? Are you guys gonna start shooting each other in the leg? What do you do next?
I wouldn't put it past Tony.
Darby, what do you do next after getting thrown down giant cement sets of stairs? What do you do next? Get a concussion, miss a few weeks, and have a dopey CEO butt scratching nerd that has a billionaire daddy? Oh yeah, he's committed to his art form. We're gonna pay. What is this?
He's gonna T-bone
Anyway,
himself on a standing skateboard, or he's gonna somebody's gonna miss a spot on a power bomb on one of those makeshift coffins they had laying out on the outside of the mat on the outside of the ring for those coffin matches, or they're gonna miss a spot with a table and he's gonna land awkwardly. Look, I like Darby Allin. I don't like the whole nonsensical deathmatch part of his carefree attitude and mentality in the ring. I don't want to see him turn into like a Darren Drozdov because that's
yeah,
horrifying. Like Darby's got a whole lot of talent. Like I don't want to see that
it.
happen to him.
People describe it as reckless bravery.
God.
No,
No,
I'm
no.
sorry. I'm woke as hell, but that is not reckless bravery. That is recklessness. There's no bravery at all. It is it's akin to pornography. Pornography by definition has no social redeeming value. True crime, people watching and learning about how other people cut humans up and how they dispose of their bodies. That is pornography. It has no social redeeming value whatsoever. Darby Allen jumping onto a bunch of fucking plain glass is pornography. It has no social. Why? Why are there windshield glass panes underneath the ring? Did someone call Safelite?
I've
Did
got to
they just
I've
forget their stuff? What
Got
is
to
the
say it.
point?
I've got to say something, and it's gonna be so funny, and Nikki's gonna laugh so loud. He's giving you all of the reasons why all of these visually pornographic things should not work in professional wrestling. 5 minutes after he did his Vince Russo impression.
Bro, let me tell you, I do like to go in my bathroom. I do have a certain website that I pull up that my wife is approved of, bro.
It's my
Okay, she knows about it.
it's my Crimea River on a pole match.
and to wind it back, what was your take on this match before we get
Well,
carried away on nonsensory old
no.
clown
Well,
show?
no. But I agree with him because there's part of it is, yeah, he may hurt himself or he could hurt the person he's supposed to be working with. But anyway, yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
just physically, yeah, Punk is twice the size, muscle mass wise, as him. His legs look like I could snap them in half, and I'm an old man.
Really
Um,
old, 1990.
the commentary, I was just getting on my nerves because they kept harping on how was
Yeah.
Punk elite enough to hang with Darby Allin,
Ugh.
Oh,
and that kind of shit reminded me of like WCW.
Yeah.
where the big boys play? Blah, blah, blah. We do this, we do that. No, just shut up and call the match.
Uh, Paul, how did it feel to you as I mean, I'll be 40 in July. How did it feel to you to hear Jim Ross knowingly pander the entire time?
Right. Well, it ruins his legacy too, like other people have done going there.
Mm,
I mean,
It-
yeah, that was
yeah,
exactly what he was doing. And
yeah.
the one line that I really pissed me off was it said, "The CM Punk belongs in the ring with Darby Allin."
Ugh,
Fucking CM Punk has done shit that nobody else there can do. Shut
yeah.
the fuck up.
now, like,
And then the other whatever I don't know who the third commentator was. I know it was Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, but I don't know who the third one was.
I love that you
But
don't know who that guy is. No one tell him he doesn't deserve to be
Oh yeah,
announced.
I was
no.
say I
Like
almost said it, but
Paul, Paul, you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter who that third motherfucker is.
I mean,
exactly. True. He's not.
he called the one move where Darby jumps out on the Punk doing a senton while Punk was standing up. Called it a flipping senton. I'm like, that's the whole point of a senton. You're flipping
Yeah.
when you do it.
Hmm.
I just it was redundant, and Darby was also redundant. Like he did that little forward roll before he went back to try to hit the code red. I
Oh,
mean, and his what the fuck is his goddamn finishing move supposed to do? Just land backwards on somebody?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
mean that's just retarded.
Okay.
Oh,
I
oh, oh.
I
I think
I,
even a person with special needs would also say it's also the R word. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna let it
mean,
slide.
we'll worry about it in post, but yeah.
No, Paul, you're good.
I
It's
mean
yeah.
I get what you mean. The frustration on it.
I mean, you knew Punk was going to be over as hell because it was in Chicago,
Yeah.
as it should have been. And then you knew Punk was going to win, or else a riot would have ensued
Well,
because you're in Chicago.
well, look, like I'll give it to you from this aspect. Like this is an aspect that we really haven't hit yet. Like anytime you hear anybody talking about Punk backstage, he's got the young kids coming to him, looking for advice, and he's like, "Hey, can you watch my match? Let me know what I'm doing." And like that, having him back at the first match and having him against somebody like Darby. All right, sure. Like he's probably gonna point Darby in the right direction or try to, as it's been made very clear with the AEW locker room. He's like, "Hey, man, maybe you might want to tone it down a little bit. You want to be able to walk upright when you're 30 or 35." um Being in the ring with somebody like a Darby Allin, it's drawing in the crowd because Darby's already a fan favorite established. Being in the ring with Punk is going to get more eyes on Darby Allin. Obviously being in Chicago, it's going to be a raucous crowd. um did anybody actually think that Darby was going over here? Like, no. Like, I mean, Dave Meltzer maybe thought he was gonna go over. Maybe with the coffin, motherfucker. If Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns couldn't beat this guy in a 3-on-1 match, no, Darby ain't doing it, guy. Come
Lazy
on,
booking.
right?
Mhm.
I mean, this was uh, this was well booked if you're looking at it from the angle of you're a fan of Darby, you're a fan of Punk. I want to see Punk come back, and I know Punk is gonna help the younger talent uh, be on the uprise. Darby's only ever had anything good to say about Punk in his time backstage, talking to him. What am I doing here? Was this overkill? Could I have done this? Like, there's there's a whole lot of the backstage that like we don't get to know, and then there's just everybody telling us that Punk is great with the younger talent backstage. The mentorship, everybody looks up to him. Like he's standing around in different social circles. when he's backstage watching someone else's match. Like, he tried to have fun. He tried to have fun with a guy that was over with the crowd, and it just didn't work.
Well, I don't understand because they just kept bad mouthing Punk the whole time. You know,
Well, of
well,
course,
you
he has
know,
the cancer. What do you
his
mean?
his conditioning. Is he going to be able to hang with?
Oh, and I
Whatever.
get to say that because we did, I think we did watch this match
Oh yeah, we
for the
agreed
channel.
100%.
We did watch it for the channel, but it was before we forgot the channel and then came back to the channel. Because I went looking through the history of our videos and I was like, "Yeah, well, yeah, no, it was right before that time." So it's like, yeah, it was probably the old channel. When we watched that match live, I watched it on mute because I didn't want to listen to the announcers. I just wanted to watch the match.
Well,
And
I wish I would have done that.
in the great stylings of Sponge made us watch this again, I did it again. I didn't watch it with the announcers on. I just watched it to watch it. I didn't want to hear the announcers. I can't listen to Jim Ross like
Now, yeah.
proing himself out for Tony's whims.
Yeah, it's kind of heavy. So I'm currently pulling up a list of all the people that uh, CM Punk wrestled in AEW in the 3 years he was there. Are you
Yeah.
ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're ready.
You
Darby
know what?
Allin.
I feel like this would be a really fun game that I think Sponge would be able to actually tell you all of them on the list.
Hold on.
Well, yeah.
Let me tell you. Hold on. You know what? I know Darby's on there. MJF is on there. Powerhouse Hobbs on there. Ricky Starks is definitely on there. FTR is definitely on there. Oh, he didn't have. You know what? Looking back at the years he was there, he didn't have a lot of matches. The House of Crack. He fought the House of Crack.
That's pretty funny. I haven't heard that.
Bullet Club of Gold or whatever the fuck they're called. The
Well,
entirety.
hang on. You're almost there. Darby Allin, Powerhouse Hobbs,
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Daniel Garcia,
Yep.
Oh, yep. Daniel and Penta.
Matt Seidel, Bobby Fish,
Oh, well, Jesus. Do you know
But
the story about that
where's
one?
the lie?
Do you know the story about
right?
that finish? That fucking finish that happened with that one?
No.
He tried to say that Punk sabotaged him in the match because if you watch back at that match, he hit the GTS and the referee counted a 3, but he kicked out because he said he supposedly that Punk tapped him and gave him the signal to kick out, and that he was trying to sabotage Bobby Fish to make him look bad, but none of that was true.
Well, that's dumb.
Did, did
Eddie
Bobby Fish
Kingston.
go bye bye after that?
I
Say
think
again?
so.
Yeah, Bobby Fish did go bye bye after
He
that.
disappeared after that.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah. He just where's the lie? He went
But
straight to where's the
where's
lie?
the lie? Yeah, he went right
I
back to TNA.
swam with the fishes. Eddie Kingston. Then we go into
Yep.
2022. MJF on Dynamite. MJF at Revolution.
Mhm.
Dax Harwood.
Yep.
Max Caster.
Mm-hmm.
Penta.
Yeah.
Which,
Yep.
how fucking awesome is this now? Dustin Rhodes.
Always good.
Hangman Adam
Oh
Page.
God.
Oh no, Jesus Christ.
Tanahashi.
Oh
Always
yeah.
always a good set.
Moxley
Ugh.
on August 24th on Dynamite.
Oh, that's the one where he died. Yeah. Continue.
And he lost
No,
because
you didn't even say that. No, you didn't even
he
say it.
won.
Continue.
Hang on. He won the championship from Hangman. Then he lost it to Moxley. Then he won it again from Moxley.
Like a week later.
Yeah. Then he wrestled Samoa Joe. This is when he started just only working Collision. Samoa Joe, Satoshi Kojima
Mm-hmm.
at Forbidden Door.
So
Like,
good.
who cares? Sorry, Ricky Starks on
Yep.
Collision, and then his last
Mhm.
last match was Samoa Joe at All In.
Yeah.
Perfect way to leave.
Yeah, 20 matches in 3 years. I,
And
I'm
I
Well,
know that he
so
lost at least 2 or 3 of those.
there's there's some missing on there. There's a bunch of Rampage matches and Collision matches that are missing. But the only ones he lost to Ricky Starks at the Owen Hart Cup, and he lost 2 times to Max, and then he lost either once or twice to John Moxley.
Yeah, which is cage match. Let's
So
cage
yeah,
match that shit.
Yuck.
Wrestlers, CM Punk, and then let's go to career.
Remember, he lost to the Valet at All Out in Wembley.
So in 21, he's undefeated.
he lost to his
And
travel agent.
you mean the Young Bucks set him up and he really got screwed there.
so okay, so he has wrestled. Hang on.
Mhm.
Oh, he had the
So
6-man too with Sting. That pretty fire tag team match on Rampage.
would his match at Forbidden Door wrestling Kojima technically be a match for New Japan? So the only promotion he hasn't wrestled in is WCW.
But he hasn't wrestled in my backyard, so
Yeah.
I've got promotions to go to.
Did he do work for TNA?
Yeah, he did it with what's his name? The guy, his trainer. He wrestled with him on TNA.
Ace
Oh.
Steel.
Yeah, Ace Steel and him were a tag team in TNA.
Hannibal Ace Steel.
Yeah.
2 matches. Yeah. Wow. With
Damn.
Buff Bagwell and Disco Inferno.
Oh man, see now I got to YouTube that chick because I gotta watch it now. Because it's still better than
Tag
anything
Team
that
Gauntlet
AEW
for
puts
the
on.
Gold Battle Royal in 2002. And it was also with Ron Harris and Scott Hall. Oh, dude, there's a whole era of TNA that I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Like just being
Well,
completely
I
real.
mean, they when they kept jumping networks because nobody wanted them because they weren't delivering the numbers probably that they needed to stay on networks. I mean, they were on obscure fucking channels.
They were
So
on
how would you
Spike.
know about them?
They
You
went from
Yeah,
Spike
but
to Pop to fucking like the local channel to fucking. They kept moving around.
look at what happened
right.
though. You had that roster. You had that roster of skill set and ability and mic work on
And
Spike
all those
TV.
drugs.
On Spike TV. And then one little "Ooh, you got me, brother" comes in and it's gone. How does Hulk
Also,
Hogan come
everyone.
in and absolutely doom your freaking franchise?
Also, Nikki's right. A lot of those people were fucking old and fat and were on drugs.
You had Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and fucking like, you had all of those guys that now are revered as legends for the work that they did in that era of TNA on Spike TV. Like, how is it possible?
In the words of Michael Cole, folks, this is not part of the show.
It really
Okay,
wasn't.
enough about AEW and Punk and
Oh,
Darby. Angel, we shat all over that. Sorry, buddy.
You're good. Now, Paul, let's go back into reality with the time machine.
Now that, yeah, wait, hold on, go back.
oh,
So, there you go. He added a bop. So now we're back into reality. Now, when you talk about size, about Darby Allin in the past, Punk in AEW was skinny as shit versus how he is now in the WWE. He has
I heard
grown
he
in
was on that.
size.
but he still looked. He looked
Absolutely.
healthy,
He
So
had a
now the
tan.
and
big question for you guys is what do you see different from that first match in AEW versus any match now? Because he's only had like what 4 matches since being back to WWE.
He's off that Britt Baker diet, if you know what I mean.
My man. Hey, she's single now. I don't know.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
sure is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
She
yeah.
posted an Instagram, and I don't follow her. I don't know how this ended up my suggested feed.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. Here we
yeah.
go.
I
Sure.
100%. I don't care. I don't really follow anybody. Um, there was something about she had some furniture delivered, and she was like, "What is a single woman?" That's right. I said single woman. How am I going to get
Yeah,
all
how the
this
hell am I going
stuff
to get it into the house?
upstairs?
I saw that too.
And I was like, "Baby girl, you look fine right now, and I would love to throw my 40-year-old back out helping you move furniture. I will gladly get a hernia for you.
God damn.
Not
But
being
back in the
weird, I don't want anything in return, but I will gladly give myself a hernia for Britt Baker.
now back into the present.
Okay. This is the present.
She's a doctor. She can check it out for you.
The present
Wrong
of
doctor.
wrestling.
What? Do you mean the weak push
The,
on the road toward WrestleMania?
yeah, Paul, you want to kick it off before I blow up into a bunch of balloons?
No, I want to hear your tirade first.
All right. So to save your ears, I'm going to start yelling. So
Oh,
Paul,
here we
correct me and
go.
yell before. All right. This week in wrestling, Raw. I don't remember it because we did a review about it, and I don't remember it.
Raw was
And I
fun.
think it was pretty mid.
Yeah.
How can you forget that promo at the beginning?
Raw was so
But
fun.
this,
It was so good.
but this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about Raw. We did a
I
little
understand
schmuggle.
that, but you're sitting there, you're saying you just forgot it already. It's only been a week.
Yeah, you said you forgot it because it was probably mid, and no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it won't be the AEW numbers, but this week we
Attaboy.
saw John Moxley
Attaboy, Uncle Sponge.
take we saw John Moxley take nails to the back like an idiot, and then this week
Ugh.
we also saw SmackDown, which was 3 hours long, full of filler and shitty building stories, and also missing talent that doesn't get utilized. And in my opinion, if you're gonna have re-sign people like Andrade, sign up a new fucking wrestlers that I'm not gonna say who they're gonna be, but two new people, and have throwaways from Raw show up on SmackDown. Why are you not using the filler wrestlers or mid card wrestlers? Sorry, I should respectfully say mid card wrestlers. And also for WrestleMania so far, like Paul was saying earlier, like, oh, I see no hype in this. I'm scared of the directions, and I was against it. I was like, oh, you know what? I got the hype. And then when Cena turned heel, I had the fucking hype of this shit, and I don't feel that anymore. The Punk and Cena shit on Raw was good, but it didn't drive me crazy. Um, And then the build up for Jade Cargo and Naomi has been meh. The build up for the triple threat match for the women's Io Sky's belt has been fucking garbage because why is Bianca Belair there?
You're so
And also the
far
build
off.
is just meh. You let me speak the facts here because this has been meh, okay? If you're gonna tell me and sit here and I will rewatch WrestleMania 40 and a fucking 6-man tag match between AOP and fucking the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley with special guest referee Bubba Ray Dudley is more entertaining than whatever the fuck I've been watching, then I must be smoking fentanyl or something. Because that is more entertaining than whatever the fuck I've seen so far in this build of anything. But before I lose myself in words, I want to say this before I continue. 100% believe that every single one of these matches is going to be bang. All right, I have the trust and the talent of Charlotte Flair and Bianca Blair that these matches are going to bang. Like Punk, Roman, and Seth, that's going to be fun to watch. Rhea, Io, and Bianca, maybe without Bianca, it'll be fun to watch. We already seen that. But anyway, back to my rant. For these builds, this is my first SmackDown I've watched from start to finish in forever. I've seen, and there's what 4 weeks to Mania. I have seen the worst promos for certain of these middle matches. Like say the women's match. Charlotte and Tiffany had a garbage ass stage pre-taped interview where they looked like they couldn't even work together because Charlotte would say something, Tiffany couldn't catch up. Or Tiffany would say something, and Charlotte couldn't catch up. And I was just like, this is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. And following that, we got Jacob Fatu and fucking Braun Strowman going one-on-one for a number one contendership for the U.S. title, which will, lead whoever's going to Mania, with Solo Sikoa, who's been obviously screwing over fucking Jacob Fatu little by little, and it's just not entertaining. Like they're gonna fight at Mania, but it doesn't have the build or energy that it should have because it's Jacob fucking Fatu for fuck's sake. And I don't care about Solo Sikoa, but in a non-biased note, I have no energy or seen any positivity on it because it's cookie cutter as fuck, and you know the obvious. You're gonna have Jacob Fatu and him fight, and Jacob Fatu's gonna go over because what the fuck, and and then continuing after that, I'm gonna skip some stuff. Triple threat, fake, phony brawl that happened at the end. They built. The only reason I watched the SmackDown 2 is to see 3 stars or 2 stars and Grimace fucking have a promo battle because I know Roman can talk and Seth can kind of talk and Punk can go for the ages. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, they're gonna have some good back and forth. We got like a 5 minute scramble and they cut off air early, for me at least, because I was watching it live with the European people. I don't know about you guys, but Punk said a one-liner. Roman had like a five-liner, and his long-ass fucking entrance that they wasted our time on. And Seth Rollins' long-ass entrance that they wasted our time on. And Seth got in 2 words. Punk comes out ready to get in a brawl, and the brawl was just so bad it looked phony as fuck. And I know this is professional wrestling, but I have seen brawls that did not look just as terrible as that. And Seth Rollins grabbing Roman Reigns' butt cheeks, and it was just all over the place. And then the
Angel,
security
take a
didn't make it
breath.
believable. Hold on, no, I'm not mad. I just continue going. Like the fucking, did you see that fairy? That security guard that looked like a fairy. His hair was so silver it distracted me because he looked like a fucking fairy security guard. Like
And
the
he
security guard
means
was
Oh,
he
cutting.
means that in a non-homophobic sense. That is an actual
Yeah, yeah.
hairstyle. That is an
No,
actual
yeah.
hairstyle
Did you
rib
guys
right
see that
there.
fucking fairy? That fucking fairy, and they were setting themselves up for spots for Seth Rollins to splash from them, and it was so fucking obvious and phony. And Seth and Punk just saying, "Oh, and the favor," and then stands on top of the commentary table and points at the Mania sign and points at all 3 of them and says, "You at Mania." Are you fucking kidding me? Like and what I was telling Villain is my biggest issue with it is that Seth Rollins tried to kill Roman fucking Reigns at the Rumble. Yeah, and then he was gone for 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn got packaged pile driver on fucking the SmackDown by Kevin Owens and was back on Monday with no neck brace. But Randy Orton was also gone for like 4 or 5 months after a package fucking pile driver like 4 months ago, and comes back.
It scared
Like
the shit out of
I'm
me.
confused. That actually did get scared of me. But how the fuck come back? And I get Keith's was counterclaim for me was long term was yo yeah Roman got fucking stomped 3 months ago and also eliminated 3 months ago. But your fucking Roman's been gone for 3 months doing nothing, and in the last couple of weeks,
Okay,
Seth and
you
hold on,
can't cut off what I said though. Like you can't
hold on,
quote
I'm
me
gonna
and
get
then
there. I'm
absolutely
gonna get there.
misrepresent the quote. It doesn't
Hold
come
on,
off
you're
well.
not.
oh,
I'm gonna get
oh,
there. And to follow up on that, Seth and Punk have not really been going at each other the Rumble.
What?
After the Rumble, Punk came out and basically called out everybody for fucking Mania. And you know what? And maybe I may be biased because I don't want to see fucking. I'm tired of Seth and fucking Punk just as much I was tired of Liv and Rhea. What's it called? It hasn't been entertaining. They've been brawling and having fake, phony looking brawls, and I'm gonna call out fucking Punk on this. His punches look ass as fucking these brawls. Like you can throw a good looking punch in a brawl and make it look good. And all these fucking and I don't know if this is a brawl dementia thing, but have you noticed that every week there's been multiple fucking brawls as much as there was DQs back then in a card, like
yep.
or something. But there's been too many
I
fucking
think
brawls, and it's driving me nuts.
You've made
I think
so
I
many
said that a couple
points.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like literally Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair last Friday. Then Seth Rollins and and Punk last Monday. And then this week again, them two again. And then yesterday, it was a triple threat fucking brawl. These brawls are every fucking week to build up these stories are Loki getting a little annoying and people attacking each other like Naomi attacking Jade and Jade attacking Naomi. We haven't even seen Jade do a promo. We haven't even seen them go back and forth. We did see that garbage ass acting between Bianca Belair and Naomi, but nothing. So that there's nothing intriguing for Jade and Naomi. And I know I'm making a bunch of points and I'm all over the place, but I'm just venting out that how I'm feeling. I'm not really excited. And Cena versus Punk is gonna also like again, it's gonna bang, but not as very excited as I am for this build-ups. But I'm gonna shut up now and give everyone else the microphone.
Who
I
wants
feel
to
like I'm
follow
at a
that?
Republican town hall right now. God
I've
damn.
got
Yeah.
if this was like a Google Meet or a Zoom, I would have already clicked the raised hand button because I've been waiting since I got misquoted. I want to
But
Then
yeah,
you
say
go ahead.
yeah,
The floor
you were
recognizes the misquoted.
okay.
yes.
Sponge said to me before that he's not excited for this triple threat match between Roman and Seth and Punk because it feels rushed. Now, I don't know if we were all there, in November of 2023, which is over a full calendar year ago. When that music hit in Chicago and Seth Rollins started throwing the absolute temper tantrum of the century.
Great night.
It was a great night. Absolutely fucking leading up.
Absolutely great. Everybody loved it.
There we go. You've had Seth can't keep his mouth shut since that night, almost a year and a half ago. Like I don't. How do you? Okay, hold on. And to continue, you had going forward the next year. You had the very same event, Survivor Series, in November. You had Roman and Punk had that whole issue because Paul Heyman went behind Roman's back and got CM Punk, and like Roman held Punk back when it came time to send other people into the match, into the War Games. Like they had that whole stare down afterwards. If anybody's gonna use the word rushed, are we clocking this with a snail? Like I don't understand it. Because like Seth and Punk finally got their hands on each other in January before even the Rumble on that first episode of Raw on Netflix, and everybody loved that match because it was pretty classic.
Has this not been the first time that Roman, Seth, and Punk have been in the same like vicinity as each other outside of
Since the Rumble? Yes. Monday
yes,
Monday
since
Night
the
Raw
Rumble,
at MSG was that first
and
time
then
that they
Right.
were there.
and then since also too when Punk joined the Bloodline at Survivor Series, like that was the first time that he was like in the ring with Roman. Like I had I had such a great time with wrestling this week because I needed it more than I needed anything this week. The week before last was just awful.
Yeah.
Probably one of the worst weeks of I had to put my dog down and it was just a really shitty week. I found out on Monday that he had a giant tumor in his belly and it was cancerous and he had already been acting weird for like 4 weeks. And then my vet going, "Hey, I'm only going to give you 10 days of antibiotics. You need to have the conversation with yourself."
Yeah.
And knowing like, okay, I'm about to be gone and how about Sunday? Are you here Sunday? He was like, I'm actually here Sunday. I'm like, okay, great. I'll see you Sunday. And then just the whole week just did everything like that the week needed. I did a drive last week. Sorry I wasn't here. When you guys were recording, I was on my way to Chicago. No, yeah, no. I flew into Chicago last Saturday morning. I landed, we sat on the tarmac here in Nashville. I landed in Chicago at 10 a.m. I was supposed to get there at 8. Um, I then drove through whatever the hell that storm was that rolled through here 2 weeks ago and almost got flipped over a few times. I had to pull off just south of Indianapolis and set at like an exit for like 3 hours until it finally calmed down. It was like 50-mile-an-hour winds. I finally get home at 2 a.m. and then put my dog down the next day and then just have like an incredible wrestling week this week and like other like personal life, personal growth stuff happened this week that was really rad. I had a great time with wrestling this week. I did not like Dynamite, shocker. I had fun with Raw. These international crowds are phenomenal.
Just absolutely hijack status. It's so great.
Yeah, and I'm here for it because it's a treat. We're gonna get one more next week, right? Monday is in London. Is that right?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep, they're in the O2. And before I'm gonna interrupt you, I think I have a feeling of I know who's Jey Uso's tag team partner is gonna be. But continue.
Jadakiss, who did you say?
No, Jay
Jay
Uso has a mystery
Jay,
tag team partner.
and I think I know who it's gonna be. I think
Who?
it's not who Keith's gonna be, but they're
Woo!
in a different country for that tag team match. And I might be delusional, but we'll
Who
see.
is it? Just say it.
I think it's gonna be fucking Carlito.
What?
What
What?
makes
Yeah,
sense
it's
about
even they've been building it up. Like, have you not been watching? Like he's been when he's in the backstage vignette, he's been playing as Jey Uso for the last 3 weeks. It just makes
Oh,
sense.
jeez.
Okay.
Okay.
If you want to
Bro.
talk about, if you want to talk about like long-term storybooking, there you go.
You have Gunther
Whoa.
out there bullying and absolutely just shitting on Jimmy Uso every week on SmackDown. Like, how
No,
do
but
you
I
even
think
see this
no.
being
My
Carlito?
genuine answer, I think it's going to be someone like from TNA that might be the
Okay.
TNA World Title that might be
Did
holding
you
that
That
belt.
could be fun.
That's what I'm.
did you
That's who
guys
my real guess. So I was throwing you off. But continue, Nikki.
did you guys see where what's her name was talking to Bianca, and then behind Bianca was uh Dominic Mysterio talking to
Carrying
Karrion
Cross.
Cross?
Yeah,
Hmm?
Like, I don't. There have been. Has that happened elsewhere? Like, have we seen Karrion Cross talking to other people? And is it? Because here's the thing: Karrion just lost his whole group. What's stopping Karrion from restarting Judgment Day, brainwashing Finn Balor? Dominic leaves. Dominic does not need at all the Judgment Day. He could go out and do whatever the hell he wants to do, and be with Liv and be with Carlito, and then once JD gets back, him and JD have a tag team. Like, they don't need. But with Alistair, I could see Miro. Apparently Miro and CJ are back together. Newsflash: they
They better
renewed
not
their
come.
Hmm.
vows.
They
hooray!
better not come back together.
God, I want them back together so bad.
Okay, but if they come
I like.
back,
I
they have
want.
to come back with Aiden English.
Yeah.
Oh
You got to have
God, I
Rusev
Yes,
there.
forgot about
yes. And
that.
if you're gonna bring back Rusev, you have to bring him back those first like 3 or 4 weeks on
I
NXT.
think didn't he get let go because he vaped all the time and Vince hated it?
Probably.
No, he was frustrated with. Oh no, Vince didn't like him. Remember, he told him they're not chanting because they like you. They chant you because you're stupid. Over the Rusev Day stuff,
Yeah,
he treated
Well,
him wrong. He mistreated him, so he didn't like being there anymore. He went to AEW.
it could be worse. You could have been Simon Gotch.
you could have been
Yeah.
Simon Gotch, Gooch. No,
Gooch.
like that. I think that was a real thing. He apparently, like, people had asked him several times. This could be completely wrong, but it was something like people in admin had like said like, "Hey, stop vaping back here," and he was like, "It's not cigarette smoke," and they're like, "Yeah, Vince doesn't like it." And then they just started, yeah, the typical political thing, I guess. I don't know. That's probably
He was
bullshit.
he was released in 2020. Part of the big giant releases that happened in 2020.
They're like, Vince, what do you think about Aiden English? Who?
Hmm.
You know what?
He
I think
still
it's
works here?
Right.
while we talk about that release real quick, I think it's still crazy that the last time we saw Aleister Black, he was gonna start a feud with Big E, and he got released the week after he screwed over Big E for the
Yeah.
title, and then he was just released immediately.
Well, I didn't really want to see Big E's eye get knocked out by the steel steps. Like, I wasn't really into that when it happened to Rey Mysterio.
What do you mean? That was Seth Rollins.
I know.
Uh,
But I don't even want to get into that.
is Uncle Howdy hurt?
Yes.
No, he's
Well,
cleared.
Oh, well,
No,
he's
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 cleared
cleared to
now.
return now, but he's been hurt. That's why they haven't really been doing anything with them.
Oh,
And
okay.
that one, if you want to come to me talking about rushing, the Wyatt Fix still has a Mania plan, and that shit is gonna be rush as fuck because they're still not back,
All right.
and they
If
have 4 weeks.
if we're gonna talk about rushing, I'm gonna refer you back to the triple threat match, to all the way back in 2014 when Seth
Well,
hit
again,
Roman with the chair.
I'm gonna be so honest with you. That's long-term story telling. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm talking about building up to the next pay-per-view, not building up the story more. And to me,
All right, so you started
I
talking
think
in
the Wyatt Fix.
January. Well, I'm sorry, not January, February at the Royal Rumble, February 1st. If you started
I
talking in
forget that.
February about, a WrestleMania booking, like the Royal Rumble starts a title match picture. So it's like if you did something at the Royal Rumble to start a WrestleMania feud, that's kind of how it works. Like you don't know who's going for which title until they win the Royal Rumble. So it's like I have no problem with Punk and Seth and Roman all getting dumped out of the Rumble and then just beating the shit out of each other. Like
Valid
we
point,
knew
but
where it was going from that night. Like we all were
Oh
talking about
yeah.
how it was going to be a triple threat match
oh
at
yeah,
WrestleMania. Like I don't know why we were starting to feel like it was rushed. Like I know that they should be
and
on TV together more, and I know that that's
yeah.
probably
See,
one of your biggest gripes. And you're right, they should be on TV more, but I don't know really how you do it. Like you had to give Roman the time off. You had to actually sell the injury from the stomp on the steps. Like,
and so did Sami Zayn, but he was back there in 48 hours.
yeah, but Sami Zayn is there, 50, 51 weeks a year. Like Roman is not. Like, dude, we're not comparing apples to, absolutely like plastic peaches. Like, come on now.
I
Millions
will.
of plastic peaches. Who's okay? What's the Uncle Howdy program?
See, that's what I was gonna get to. I think that's gonna be my bathroom break fucking match, and I love the White Six. I'm not gonna be interested in any of the shit they're gonna do. I'm gonna be
Well,
so
like,
dead ass.
what are they gonna do?
Yeah, tell me, what are they gonna do, Paul?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's nothing for them.
See,
I mean, there's nothing for them right now. I would not rush them through a story just to have them on the pay-per-view.
The
Maybe
only thing
have
that they
them
could go ahead. Sorry.
do like a run in or something to start something after Mania with somebody. But I wouldn't. Then I would not rush a story to get them just on to WrestleMania. I know you got 2 nights to fill, but the way they've been doing matches and giving them time when there's only 5 matches on a card, they'll be able to put 2 nights together without rushing somebody else back in just a throwaway match. So
Could
I
it
don't know.
be? Go ahead.
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
What? Who are these insurrectionists? And that's the only thing I could use to call them. This group in NXT.
The
You know
the
what I'm talking about?
Nexus 3.5.
Right. Yeah.
me and Paul,
Exactly.
me and
Yeah.
Paul did this last Saturday for like 10 minutes. Shield
So
97.3 Light FM.
97.3. Bro, they're gonna come out, they're gonna start beating people up. Bro, here's what I tell you to do, okay? You come down from the crowd, you smack people's ass, you get in the ring, you take the girl, you make her take off her skirt. She's got the white cotton panties.
Oh God, here we go.
You're like, that's what I'm talking about. Keep going. God
That would
damn.
be Vince.
That's some good shit.
There's a slight stain.
I, I participated, but I wasn't a willing participant. I was there against my will.
He made me wear a thong.
Oh, that's horrifying. That's more That sight, the thought of that sight is even more horrifying than what he did.
Look,
what
Oh
the
my
hell are we
gosh.
talking about?
so what if they came out during somebody's non-essential match, right? The Jobber 6.650 FM, Delilah, and
Yes.
then the Wyatt Six come out, and that just completely squashes anything from either of them because the payoff is done. I don't get the Wyatt Six thing. Like it's cool, Uncle Howdy, great, yeah, your brother that sucks. Um, no one has supernatural powers anymore. Like there's like we don't do that. Like
It
if you
was
want to
easy
be a
to pull
serial
off.
killer and knock people out on your first night in, that's great. But like we're talking about with Moxtard earlier, where do you go? What happens next? And I thought their debut was kind of like hilarious because that was one of the things that Bruce Pritchard used to always yell about, like in the early days of something to wrestle. Like, where do you go with hardcore stuff? Like, it was so hard booking the Undertaker because, like, well, where the hell do we go we have to be sure that we, and even with this brother love gimmick, I can't say God, I don't say Jesus, I don't, like, it's all about love. The same thing with the Undertaker. It's not a crucifix, it's a symbol. But they come out the first night and Chad Gable looks like he got shot in the fucking head.
Yeah, that you know what, he made a really remarkable recovery.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got a whole new
Yeah.
faction. Ivy Nile is a babe. I don't know what anybody's told you, but that woman is stunning.
I need that group to disband. Like
Yes.
the Creed brothers have no direction under this stupid Chad Gable thing that he's got going on with the Luchadors. There's
They were
no
way
reason
cooler
for it.
being Steiners than
Yeah.
they are being like, what was that stupid huge erection? What was that?
Misfits in action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Misfits in action.
Bro, your name is going to be, you ready? Your middle name's G, your first name Huge, your last name Rection, okay? You are a senior commanded official, bro.
General Rection. Hugh G. Rection. There you go.
We're gonna have a girl valet. She's gonna be called Massive Guns. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
What an idiot.
What about the Blue
Anyway.
World Order? Like, they were so much fun.
Yes, they
Oh
were.
yeah, meanie.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a weirdo.
Yeah, definitely that.
Well, what
but...
did he do? I don't know nothing about these people before.
All right, so I got to say something really
What's-
funny. I got to say something really funny because you guys at home, the listeners, you can't see this, but in our whole little thing, in our whole compound setup, Sponge keeps sending us the placards for the WrestleMania card. And I don't know if you guys know, but that triple threat match for the Women's World Championship is going to take place on April 49th at WrestleMania. Literally says it right there on the one bit of television programming that got clipped as a typo, because it says Saturday,
what?
Saturday April 49th and Sunday April 50th.
That shit. It's actually hilarious.
And just because he wants to take it down and get it right, I saved that photo like 10 minutes ago while I was thinking about it.
Also, Rhea Ripley's tongue, she's got the Gene Simmons thing, and whatever her name is, little girl, EO, she looks like, did you just fart?
Oh no.
What? It's what she. It's also the Charlotte and Tiffy segment from was that SmackDown? Yeah, SmackDown.
SmackDown. Yeah.
Did you guys notice how the top of Charlotte's left lip was not as injected as her top right side lip? Did you guys see that?
I did.
Like they
Well,
almost
that's all the
forgot
blowout.
to.
I did.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I only saw it in
they
highlights and clips, but oh, it was bad.
Yeah. I look, I think Charlotte is beautiful. I think Tiffany Stratton is beautiful. They both have like gigantor lips.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen, like, I've seen pictures of Charlotte pre, whatever has been going on.
Enhancements.
Yeah. And like, hey, do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, by all means, do your thing. But like, from what I can tell, Tiffany Stratton has always had pretty large lips. And hey,
Heyo.
no, bro,
I had to
I've
get.
never
I
seen
had to
a
get him to
wrestle, but
laugh.
I've seen a box. Yeah. But
Copy that.
Tiffany Stratton is beautiful, and she's also with Ludwig Kaiser. Makes no sense.
Lucky
To me.
son of a bitch.
Dude, that dude is getting the most silent push that nobody's seeing, and it is. I'm all here for it.
It's kind of like the what was that episode of South Park where they were like, "You mean the blonde one?" Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
I'm not gonna say any more about the
Yeah,
context
yeah,
of that
yeah, yeah.
episode, but
Hey, isn't she the one with the? Yeah. Nice.
nice.
Right. Let's put a bow on this. Let's channel into
Yeah.
some final thoughts. Like I, I can't hate on much this past week in wrestling outside of the the fucking goddamn nails. I can't really hate like the Naomi storyline with fucking Jade literally gave you a Liv Morgan pinfall victory over Jade Cargill. Like, if that's not setting up Jade and Naomi to be doing something a little bit bigger, I don't know what is. Like, you literally had this unstoppable force pinned by little Liv Morgan.
Jade is not good at all.
She's not, but I don't see Liv as that great either.
Yeah, I mean,
Liv's come a
Liv can
long
be
way.
good. Liv,
Yeah.
yeah, Paul, 100% correctly in that Liv has, but then again, Liv is uh, Liv is a Darby Allin. Liv is a great bumper.
Yeah.
Liv is a great feeder, and Liv. And I'm saying this as someone who's not a wrestler. I'm just watching a fucking TV show. Liv makes me hate Liv, right?
Yeah, and she can
In real
sell to the end of
life,
the world. Like, she literally looks like she's always in excruciating pain. The screams, the grunts, like
yes,
she's great, but
she can't.
she
You
can't
can't
work. Like, her
dance
ring
with an
work is not.
idiot.
Yeah.
You can't. Well, she can't dance with an idiot that doesn't know what they're doing.
Mm.
Like, I'm talking about the wrestling aspect of it. I'm not calling Jade an idiot at all. I respect that woman. She terrifies me.
Yeah.
But it's just not like I don't believe it because she's not that good of a wrestler. Again, not a wrestler. Can't do it. Not knocking her ability. It just doesn't look compelling enough and believable. Now, saying that, I could totally see that Jade and Bianca could have a good match because size, right? I believe that Bianca could effectively coach Jade.
Yeah.
Bianca has had way more dark matches with other wrestlers off of TV and knows how to do that whole art form that is wrestling.
I feel like
Jade
that.
has
Yeah,
had
I feel like that's why they're in this program together right now. Because like, if you're working under,
100%.
yeah, it's that. There's no
Well,
other reason for it. Like, you trust
well, that's why,
Bianca.
right. That's what I thought they were in the damn tag team together for, was to get her some help from
Yeah.
Bianca. And well, even though I don't care for Bianca.
Yeah.
We'll keep riffing on this, but like, we gotta.
I'm on my
We
own
definitely gotta wrap this up.
against the wall. Precious building on me, I would never fall.
All right. So
They
what,
hear me crying.
Paul? What do you got for us in terms of
Um,
should
this
we
week,
do this go back in time again, or like, are we not letting Sponge pick next time?
Oh, don't worry. We already got the this is my cue for announcements. The next back in time, we're gonna go back to TNA, and we are watching the Reverse Ladder match.
Yes.
And then Nikki has 24 hours to choose his liking.
You mean Nikki has a whole week to choose
No,
a
no, no.
match
He
of
has
his
a
liking?
whole 24 hours, and then I have a whole week to try to watch it. 'Cause I barely watched the matches this morning.
This
If I'm
fucking
an
oh
guy
hour
gave
ahead.
man,
homework and then did it at the last second. We don't trust you anymore.
you know what? You know what? I did extra credit, and I didn't even mention it
Oh boy.
because not only did I watch those two matches,
Here we go with the
I
aggrandizing.
watched I watched Penta versus Chelsea Green
All
from
right.
Lucha Underground.
You know what?
Oh, that was from Villains.
You get a pass because I told you to do that last week.
And I watched back the Penta and Vampiro Ultimate Lucha match
I'm so sorry.
from Lucha Underground.
I'm so sorry.
So
I'll
I
take
did
something.
extra credit here, and you're worried about a week, and you wait till the day up.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
but I
somebody
got
who five fingers wristbands to me.
Oh wow. Oh damn. They're not wristbands, they're collector belts.
Or instead of the Motor City Machine Guns raise your fists. It's slap your wrists.
Oh damn.
Oh gosh, Raw was fabulous. Uh, I got excited because I go, okay, here's the build I've been looking for on the road to WrestleMania,
And then
and
Friday undid
then
it. Yeah.
Friday undid it all.
Yeah.
And the European crowds are great, but it seemed like the one on SmackDown was a notch less than the ones earlier in the week. But as I've said a million times, uh, SmackDown should not be 3 hours.
This
Two
is
It's
hours
true.
gonna
is
go.
plenty.
It's gonna go to 2 at some point, right?
I really hope
They
so,
better.
unless they edit the roster. Like you have to even out the roster. Like
And why
Netflix
didn't
has
we
their
get
guys that they wanted, but then Netflix also has the guys that they're not using that they wanted. Like SmackDown could clearly benefit from some of these people.
who debuted the last time they were in Italy?
Santino.
Santino Marella.
Oh my god.
Where are you from, Santino? Arigato Picasso. And everybody started chanting like Santina, and Vince was like, "This match is a no DQ match. Do you understand?" Oh, that was like I every girl that I've dated or other individual that I've dated, I have shown them. I'm like, do you watch wrestling? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, you're gonna watch
You watch him.
the
You made him watch
greatest
Santino.
the greatest debut
Greatest
that's ever
debut.
happened.
Yes.
Yes. And I
Yes.
show them the Santino thing, and I'm like, if you don't find this entertaining, I'm not either fucking you
Oh,
or
that's the benchmark. That's the deal breaker right there.
that's my
What?
litmus test for any relationship that they're not familiar with professional wrestling. Like, all right,
You see that, everybody? And Nikki's a fucking catch. That's a 10 right there.
you're
That is a
100%.
10, but he makes you watch Santino Marella situation.
But it's great, especially when he pulls off his shirt. He's got that giant back tattoo. That's also a good gauge of someone's like personality. If they comment on the back tattoo, that says a lot about that person.
Damn.
My final outing is the Snow White movie is terrible and Disney's finally dying.
What?
That was
Yep.
You went and watched the Snow White movie?
Oh
you went
no.
to a movie theater?
Nope. Let's not get into answering that question, because
Oh,
if the answer is not yes,
you
we
got the
can't talk about it.
you got the better version in 1919 now.
Yeah, the movie that actually legitimately almost saved Disney, until,
Well, folks,
Cinderella. Yeah, we're not gonna talk Disney. We're gonna probably
want to be the
skedoodle on
Walter
out of here.
White of Walt Disney of wrestling.
He's the one who knocks and shows you Santino.
Umaga. Okay, Angel, let's wrap it up, buddy.
Here, I'll give you my speech. If you're feeling low or if you're feeling high, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.
And remember, John Cena broke up with all of us.